Playing pre-recorded voice messages into a phone conversation from your computer is a relatively simple process with the application Voicemeeter Potato. You can even configure it to switch between microphone and playback input in case the person you're calling answers the phone. Voicemeeter being one of the requirements, you will also need Windows XP or a more recent version, and a Google Voice phone. If you don't have one set up already, I'll get into how to do it later in the tutorial. First head over to vbaudio.com/voicemeter/potato.htm and click on this download link. Once the download finishes, extract the zip file. Inside you should see Voicemeeter 8 setup.exe. Run that. After installing, you should see a window like this. Now we only need to configure a few settings in this application to get it set up to be able to detect input from your microphone and to be able to output to your speakers. First, click on the Hardware Out A1 button at the top right of the screen and select your physical speakers. The correct device will probably start with MME. Next, over on the left side of the application, click on Hardware Input 1 and set that to your microphone. Open and play your audio message, then open the Settings app and go to System, Sound, Advanced Sound Options, App Volume and Device Preferences, and scroll down until you see the program that you're using to play the audio. In this case, I'm using Windows Media Player. Set the output device to Voicemeeter Input. After doing this and keeping the audio file playing, you should see a visual representation of the playback application appear in this channel, which for some reason is labeled Voicemeter VAIO, even though in reality it is actually Voicemeter Input 1. As a side note, if you're using VLC Media Player to play back the audio, and you don't see the audio playback appear in Voicemeter Input 1, what I've found helps sometimes is to just set the output device to some other random device, and then set it straight back to Voicemeter Input. Though I don't really recommend using VLC for this particular purpose because it seems to cause problems. One other important issue in this application that frequently seems to cause problems is this very tempting tape recorder. I have tested it very thoroughly, and it absolutely does not work. So do not use this. In fact, disable all these green buttons next to the tape recorder. And unless you have 5 microphones, I also recommend disabling the outputs for each of those. Toggling any A1 button will mute the audio from that output to your speakers. The B1 button toggles whether the audio is sent to Virtual Output 1, which is this track on the far right. Now, this special track can be routed into a phone, so you'd want to disable A1 on Hardware Input 1 so that you don't hear yourself, disable B1 on Hardware Input 1 so that your microphone input doesn't automatically get routed into your phone, keep both hardware and virtual outputs enabled on Voicemeter Input 1, and simply toggle the B1 button on Hardware Input 1 in case the phone is answered and you want to talk. But now, how do we actually connect this application to a phone? To do this, you can get a free Google Voice phone number at voice.google.com by clicking For Personal Use. After you've registered a Google Voice phone number, all you need to do to connect it to Voicemeeter is click on this little headphones icon, which is the audio settings, and make sure that the input and the 2 output settings are configured as follows: Voicemeeter output for microphone and Voicemeeter auxiliary input for ringing and speakers. If everything is set up correctly at this point, you'll be able to see these equalization level bars in Google Voice's audio settings while you're playing the audio. Try calling your regular phone and leaving yourself your own voicemail. If you can hear your voicemail, congratulations, you've successfully routed your audio playback into a phone call. If you run into any issues while trying to get this set up, please let me know down below in the comments, and I'll do the best I can to help you get it sorted out. I hope you learned something useful from this, and I hope you have a fantastic day.